Hi everyone, it's Be Divine and welcome to my channel, of course. Happy new moon for April. I made an entire 2-hour video yesterday and it continually broke up into pieces until eventually when I did upload it to YouTube, there was a whole 25 minutes missing. So I am going to start again today. So, first things first, I want to tell you about what's been happening for me over the last couple of days, okay? It's been a really intense situation going on with my youngest son, Adrian, who's in Australia. He is my youngest son who's a drummer. I have 2 drummers and a guitarist. And what happened was that he went in to have a appendectomy just to get his appendix out. But he'd never had any surgeries or anything like it before. He went in to have his appendix out and they put the tube down the throat like they do. Apparently they do that for the operation, and they lacerated the inside of his throat with the tube. And when he came out of anesthetic, he was full of blood all through his lungs and vomited it all, just sorry about it being gross, but just choking almost to death on all of the blood. He was airlifted to a city hospital and he's been in hospital since for the last 2 days. And I did a shamanic healing, of course, because this was, I had a feeling and so did he, and I didn't want that feeling to be a reality. Sometimes it just is a reality, the feeling that you get. And because of the aspiration and because he'd had COVID and he'd had that previously, his lungs were compromised. So, a long story short, he rang me straight away when I had finished doing some shamanic work on him and just told me that he was feeling so much better and, he's hoping to go home. And then they came in and said that he had an infection now in his lungs. They weren't sure if he had a blood clot. They weren't sure if it was just from the aspiration, etc. It turns out it's just from the aspiration. So he is in a hospital in Adelaide and in South Australia, of course. And he's doing really well. And I've just gotten off a 5-hour phone call. This is a guy that can hardly talk. And he's trying to get up and do things. And I said, perhaps you need to see this as a reminder to take a rest when you need to and just chill out. So he's actually, because he's had this space to be able to process things, I'm actually the first one that he's calling and spending a lot of time with. And if you know my history, this has been a long time coming for me. So super happy to be able to have this really beautiful, clear connection with my son and open up his eyes actually to spiritual things as well, which I kind of always suspected was going to happen. But it's nice when you can, he says, I can't believe you said that. That's exactly me. And I'm like, well, you are my son. So anyway, there was a big awakening for him. He's still not out of the woods yet. They are keeping him in hospital, but I know it's just a matter of clearing the congestion that's in there now. But a bit of a fright for your first operation. So that has been happening. And I hope that everybody is happy and well with this new moon energy. We always know the moons last a couple of days before the moon and also a couple of days after. So it's always interesting what starts to happen. We also have solar flares until the 3rd of April. So we just need to be aware that we're putting our protection up a little bit stronger, making sure you have a triple shield of protection around you. If you don't know how to do that, I have a simple declaration video. Start to do it all the time and your life will change. So I want to start this reading today with a blessing for the month, and this is going to be our card. I'm also pulling out my original tarot that I've had since I was 15. And we're going to read through some of the stories of the Mythic Tarot when I get up to that as well. So here's our blessing. A blessing to bring prosperity. How's this? Okay. This is for everyone watching. I want you to know that I appreciate each and every one of you. In the links below, you are going to find a link now to sign up to the 2-day webinar and enjoy Zoom interactions in a classroom setting with me and learn some things that you can take with you on your journey. So here's a blessing to bring prosperity. A blessing for you so that you will always have enough to support you and see you thrive. Dearest friend, may there be more than what it is you need. Yet always let you be appreciative of all the gifts you have been given. May the natural prosperity and gifts of each season be yours, the fullness and wide arms of summer and its rich harvests. May the falling of the leaves of autumn bring you the urge to let go and bring in and do what must be done. Let the depths of winter bring to you the richness of the inner light and life. The cold reminding you of the great golden heart at the center of you, and allow the spring bring to you the green shoot pushing through new beginnings. May there be plenty of adventures beyond your home and hearth. Let there be sufficient, so that there is always wood in your fire, food in the pot, light shining down upon you. May the flow of abundance that nature reveals within all of her faces be yours. And whenever there is need, know it will be met again and again with the blessings of the universe, for they will flow to you, and you may gather them up in your arms and create more and more of whatever it is you need, whatever it is your soul calls out for. You will be able to create a home. You will be able to nourish yourself and those you love. You will no longer struggle or attempt to force. Instead, you will enter the stream of plenty that flows all about you and is now yours. Let prosperity, real and true, be yours. And may there be gratitude and charity and generosity from you to meet the bounty of the world that now flows to you. Blessings of prosperity to you, friends. Let bounty be shared and it's always taught, so that all may know the simple secrets of growing enough for all that is needed. Blessed be. So isn't that lovely what we need to hear, that we're moving into this month, April? When I heard it's the 2nd of April today, and it's like, it feels like the month's gone, you know? But we are moving into quite amazing times, and we are going to see a lot of things begin to shift into the direction of positivity after so much negativity, as we know. And I really hope that you will enjoy whatever readings we are going to be doing today. I have a lot of different things to show you. I'm going to start with the sacred journey. Whoops. Look, can you just stay there, please? Thank you. The sacred journey. Cards here. Okay. So the reading was so good yesterday that I was so determined to get it up that I was up till about 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. And then when I double checked it before I made it public, there was a whole 25. I'm just like, you know what? It's not meant. As good as it was. So we'll see what happens today. I'm sure some insights are going to come through. And I will be asking specific things. For example, with these cards, I'm going to ask, and I was asking, what do we need to know now that we've had this moon? What do we need to know? Discovering truth. You stand in the light of truth. You see how it just always backs up. It's like you have to understand where you are, what your role is in the future, you know, what you really want for your life, and not let anything take it away from you. Standing in your truth is not always easy, but you're also being blessed with, wow, infinite abundance. This is just going along with this prosperity. Abundance is pouring into your life. Now, what happens when we say the word abundance is that everybody thinks, well, where the hell's the abundance coming from? I don't have a job. I don't have any money right now. Nobody owes me anything. I don't have a, you know, whatever it is. So what we, you know, the message here is more about learning that abundance is everything in fullness. Doesn't matter whether it's actual financial, but something coming in fullness, like having a 5-hour conversation with your son who you haven't seen for 4 years, and rarely had such a long, I can't even remember the last time I had a 5-hour conversation with him or anyone. Okay, so it's an abundance of things that mean a lot to you. Grounding, going deep, exploring your roots. I want this card as well. Because, yeah, you've been fogged in, so you need to go slow and take your time. And the brain fog is a real thing, right? A lot of people that we know are very foggy in the brain all the time. And it's interesting because they didn't used to be like that. Certain things come along in life and suddenly they're just leaving, or what they call shooting out of the physical body because they can't deal with what's happening. And I see this happen a lot more than I've ever seen before as well. If you've been foggy, make sure that you're grounding yourself, okay? And protecting yourself with no doubt in your mind that when you ask for that, it's done. Get the big picture here, okay? See things from above, the perspective of your higher self, which is basically the eagle, is your higher self. And if you see everything from your higher self, you don't have any worries because you know everything is created, that you're creating whatever's coming forth. So what is it going to be for you? April is a month of 3 moons, depending where you are, but let's just say you're in the energy of 3 moons. Planetary changes, truths coming to the surface, and this is discovering truth here. Things changing rapidly with humanity because of the increase in the light in the planet. The work has already been done. The planet has already gone through a lot of changes and shifts, etc. The planets around the planet are also going through their changes and shifts. And until 2024, we are going to see one thing after another begin to occur. Now, with these cards, these are the crow. These are the tarot of the crow. Okay. With these ones, I'm going to ask a specific question as well. And I'm actually going to just get the moon, there it is, out of the deck. Okay. So now that we've had the moon, the new moon, let's see what's going to begin for us, because this was a new moon, a beginning. Now I have my microphone on, so I may be loud as anything. Let's see. Yep. Okay. Now that we've had the moon, what can we look forward to? So what I did here was I said, here's the moon that we've just had. These are going to be our forward movement. What's next? Because of this moon. Now what have we got? Eight of Pentacles, 10 of Swords, excellent. Queen of Wands, this comes up, the Queen of Wands comes up a fair bit yesterday, definitely. Okay, here we go. So let's take a look what's coming up. Sorry if I knock this around, it's kind of flimsy. Okay, let's see what's coming up. The 8 of Pentacles. This is a position of understanding that hard work has paid off. This is a position of understanding yourself in a completely different way than you might have understood yourself before. It is the card of teaching. It is the card of learning. It's just like, to me, when I'm looking at this card for this deck, because every deck has a different feel, of course. When I look at this card, it feels like the crow is in appreciation of its own handiwork. And this is a position that you actually need to be in, because you have more work to do, but it's already set up, if that makes sense. And here, these two particular coins or pentacles are really close to the crow. The crow's examining this work and paying attention to detail. Because of this moon, there is abundance, there is prosperity, but there's also appreciation for your own skills and your own talents, and perhaps others are beginning to, maybe you're going to do a course like me, and you're hoping that it will go well. You're focused on the journey ahead and sharing with others. Or maybe you're in a learning phase, which shows that you're actually taking the time out for yourself. We've had the 10 of Swords come up here as well, okay? And this is another beginning card, even though it doesn't look like a beginning card. This is, in this particular instance, the 10 of Swords is an ending to a very painful situation. As you can see, hopefully, perhaps, the crow has actually been pierced by the 10 swords. So the crow has no idea that there's anything else other than the pain that the crow has been in. The crow can't see that the sky is getting lighter. The crow can't see anything other than their own pain that's ending and has actually been taken care of. So the 10 is 1 plus 0, which is a 1. And it brings us into maybe the final realization, I would say, of where we have been blinded to the actions and frustrations of others. It's almost like you haven't been able to see that while you've been suffering or going through your own pain, that there's already been some changes that have happened to get you out of it and away from it. And this is important because the 10 of Swords continually came up yesterday in the readings that I was doing. There's just a sensation of the worst is behind us. That's what I want to say. And also with the 8 of Pentacles here, you are preparing to receive a really well-deserved acknowledgement of who you are and what you've been able to achieve. What else is happening is the Fool energy. So there's another beginning. These two are beginnings of the journey. And the Fool, depending on what you're reading, is you. The Fool in tarot always represents you. And the journey after the Fool card in the readings starts with 1. So this is a 0. This is a flat sort of a raw beginning here. And you move into the 1 of the Magician, but you're not there yet. See how the tarot will go right through all of the signs. Right through all of the cards. Your energy of the Fool moves through the tarot deck. So, what is your journey going to be? And you are looking out at the horizon. These two cards are looking down at what's been happening. Okay? These cards are looking out at the horizon of what's to come. The Fool doesn't care what anybody thinks about it's their journey. Doesn't care. It only cares about where it's going. There's some kind of task that you have to achieve. And you're seeing yourself, remember, as quite capable of doing that. So something's changed within you personally. Maybe, like my students at the Light Leaders Academy, you've just completely had a clearing. And you don't have the same things holding you back as you used to. Along with the Fool, the Queen of Wands comes up, which is also prosperous and tough. There's courage for you to move forward. The courage, probably more courage than what you need. But it's almost like you don't have to, I want to say all the right words, I guess, but it's almost like you don't have to try really hard to have courage. It's there. You don't have to work so hard as you did before to build yourself up to do something and make a decision. You're just making these decisions in strength. Your intuition is intact. You're business-minded. You are driven. You are creative. You are musical. You are abundant. You are spiritual. You are pushing forth, perhaps in a leadership position, and it suits you. Just got to make sure, as the lions are here, make sure that you stay grounded and close to the earth. Okay? And don't take anyone's crap. All right? Bring in the lion energy for yourself. It's time to move past everything, all that was holding you back, into a life that you want for yourself. And you need to see that there's always going to be a way forward, no matter what it appears to be. Okay? Okay, so this is the energy of the moon with the crow cards. Pretty interesting, huh? Okay. We're moving forward fearlessly. I remember that from a card from a long time ago. Moving forward fearlessly. We also have Lenormand and things that I'm going to do today too. So this will be interesting. This one is the Queen of the Moon Oracle. So we'll see what this also tells us. This one, I'm asking more about April in general. What can we expect from April 2022, please? now that we've had this new moon, powerful moon, we have wisdom coming through. Okay, we're almost at where we need to be, and we just need the wisdom to be able to continue on our pathway. We are going to be pushed into action, especially by the full moon in a couple of weeks. There's the gratitude, the fruition. So as this full moon comes in, we've got the 15, we've got the 17, we've got the 22, you know, we start seeing the fullness of our desires as well. In this one, we have the dark moon, the void. So anything is also possible. And perhaps you need to focus a little bit more on what can happen rather than what you think can't happen. Because the path, oh my gosh, the path is opening up to you. And it's unknown what's on the other side. But if you trust that you're always going to be guided and, you know, doors are going to open, etc., then that's exactly what happens. So even though it doesn't always happen exactly how we think it will, maybe it won't happen exactly how we want it to, but it happens. And we move into creation. Look at this. Wow. It's a lovely cards. I have no idea what they mean, but just getting that vibration here. In each of these cards, we see the back of the person. Yeah. And so we are focused on where we're going. This is what needs to continue. This is what's going to change everything. Not your focus on the problems, but your focus on where you're going. This is what changes everything in your life, your family's life, in your work life, and in the world. One of the biggest messages I had for 2022 was to empower, to help you, to just move along, move forward. Stop letting all of these worries, concerns, doubts, overthinking. Is it this? Is it that? Has it really happened? I don't know. All of this confusion that you're giving yourself needs to stop. New moon beginnings. And we move through this gateway. We move through this portal into another dimension that we are wanting for ourselves and we want for the planet. That is what we're going to do. And it's pretty awesome. So with this one, I'm going to get out the... Actually, I had another deck yesterday, but never mind. I'm going to use these ones. I'm going to go through earth, air, fire, water kind of sensations here. See what I can tell you. Just sage, folks. I haven't got a big peace pipe sitting here. I have a big peaceful looking wand that I'll show you real quick. This is what I'm just feeling the need to just chill with these readings and just not rush them, and just whatever comes out, comes out. So I know some people don't have the time to listen, and that's totally cool. I'm really curious myself when I'm doing these readings as to what messages will start to flow. So I go with the flow, not against it. So have some sage. Of course, you can buy sage from Rock and Gems. All sorts of things. I've got some Septarian dragon eggs and dragon spheres on the way today. because they are so grounding and so very, not only just grounding, they're just so protective and so uplifting all at once. So much information. It's quite old energy as well. We like the ancient energy coming out. Okay, everyone. What story am I going to tell you now? Oops, that didn't do very well. Let's try again. So this is going to be earth, air, fire, water. Okay. Okay. Earth, air, fire, water. That's how I've done it in my mind. Earth first. What can we tell you? Obviously the card says moving on. In this instance, the feeling I'm getting here is that it was something to do with timing for you, for earth signs. That there was just something that you were giving a certain amount of time in your life. Or that's at least what you were thinking in your head. That there was a certain amount of time and then you were going to do something or let something go. I feel like in this instance here that you've been afraid to step out into your new experience because of the way in which the past has treated you. So even though you have grown, you've shifted, you've changed, all of those things, you've been working on yourself, there's something that was always holding you back from letting go completely and trusting in the light, in the new energy for yourself. And even as you're emerging into the light or stepping into it, you're kind of hesitating, making sure that it's okay. So for earth signs, it is really time to push yourself forward, even when you don't know exactly what's going to happen, because you've set yourself up to You've set your intentions, I guess you could say, to really succeed in this life. And you're your own worst enemy, though. You get a great idea, you start moving forward, and then you start worrying about something to do with it. And then this becomes a bigger thing and a bigger thing and a bigger thing, right? So even though you get progress and things start coming forth and, you start seeing signs of what you're intending, your brain always hesitates to allow you to succeed. It's like your brain is scared of success for some reason, or is afraid of pushing out being successful and then losing it all. Whatever it is, there's a hesitation, or there has been one, and you're 95% convinced that it's time to move forward into another direction. You're stepping forward, but you are looking back. This hesitation won't get you to where you want to be. It will push you so far and then you'll come back. And you'll go so far and you'll come back. Walking 4 steps, coming back 10. Let's just, you're always having to gain back that which you already had going on, but you shrunk back in fear. So, ask yourself, for yourself, what do I actually want to do? Me. What do I actually want for myself? Because if I don't give it to myself, nobody is going to ever help me as much as I can help myself. Someone can advise me, someone can do a reading for me, someone can counsel me, but it's really up to me to say, you know what, stuff it. This is the direction that I want to open up my dreams. And if I keep on hesitating, I'm going to get to a point in my life where I give up altogether because then I'm too old. So don't hesitate anymore. Trust in your intuition. Trust that you will find a way ahead, and that there are actually a team, your own team working with you all the while to help it become your reality. No more hesitation, earth signs. Okay? Earth, air, oh my. Air signs. Well, look at this, the light. Some of you might have seen this come up a couple of days ago. Okay. So for air signs, in this instance, she's holding a hand close to her ear and pushing the other hand up. It's kind of a weird position. Okay, let me just take a quick closer look. Yeah. She's doing some kind of Qigong, Tai Chi, yoga, Pilates, whatever she's doing. But this is for air signs. You need to focus on your new beginning, because this is a 10. 10 is a 1. Your new beginning. This is not about anyone else's beginning, or you fixing things for everyone else, or you waiting until someone catches up, or someone agrees, or somebody allows. You have to push forward into your light in your own way. It feels to me that you're embracing it, but the body language is sort of still held. So only your arms going out, not your whole self, or not both arms either. You're waiting to hear that it's okay. From who? Your family? Your loved ones? Your partner? If you need to wait for the okay, you'll be waiting a long time. It is time to allow yourself to be who you are. This is for the air signs. To trust in your pathway and to stop allowing people to dictate how long that takes you to do that. You don't need anyone's permission to be a spiritual, sovereign being of light. But if you keep hesitating and questioning and doubting, like this card, you won't be able to embrace all that you really are. And I am telling you, it's all around you. Your divine team are trying to help you in every possible way there is for a light team to help a person. Now, that is what you need to be listening to. Your internal self, your light team. Those who are focused on your progression. Because believe me, there's plenty of people that are focused on pulling you down. Especially darker energy. It loves to pull us into our doubts and keep us in there, so that we won't push forward in pursuit of our dreams. So we'll stay stuck taking care of everyone else, everything else, and then going, oh, well, I wish I could have. You don't want to have any regrets in life. And we need to start to do things that bring us happiness. In this card, it traditionally is the sun. The sun is traditionally connected with the energy of movement into something better. It's the energy of happiness. And it's all around you, air signs. If you don't take a moment to reflect on what you want and start expecting doors to open, then it's going to seem to take a long time to get back around again. So forget whether your partner or kids or whoever thinks you're a weirdo or whatever they think that you are, because everybody just picks on everybody anyway. It doesn't matter. Look how the celebrities get picked on, and actors, and we all pick them apart. It's horrible. So you don't need someone's permission or for them to be happy for you. That won't happen. You're just going to have to shine all on your own, and it's worthwhile. The energies are surrounding you to push you up. Earth, air, fire. Fire signs, okay. This is the wheel of destiny, the wheel of fortune, the wheel of life, okay. The weavers, weaving patterns and all this sort of thing. So you are moving into the destiny. You also have a beginning of it. So you started doing something and it wasn't turning out exactly how you thought it was going to. You have all of the power of the universe flowing through you, but you are feeling blocked from the true potentials that are there. And it's because you were blocked. It's because the next part of your life, fire sign, is so important to your, well, it says destiny here. It's important to your destiny, but more importantly, it's important to your purpose. What you had considered to be the ultimate place for yourself, where you had considered to be, this is what you're doing and everyone's just going to come, and you felt like you had manifested something into reality. But you have. It's just that the timing was just a little bit off. So what we see here is that you've turned a notch on the wheel of life. You've come into this place that is full and bright and vibrant, and your heart space has expanded, your chakras and everything, you're grounded, you're connected. And something that you've been working on that didn't get interest at first is now going to be almost overwhelming if you want it to be. It's almost like messages start coming in, information starts to flow, and you start to become more aware of who you really are, why you've had to wait, why it's taken a little bit of time, while the angels were gathering extra help and assistance for you, while the angels were fixing people's finances, I guess, so they could sign up or whatever it is. While the angels were shifting the energy so it was just the right vibration for you to step into your power and your destiny. So what you've been doing is not in vain, okay? How much work you've done so far is not going unnoticed. And more and more and more people are going to start to notice your voice, your vision, your focus, your dedication, and they will stop judging you, because that's an old energy, and start to strive to listen and be more, rather than being too focused on, I kind of want to say jealousy, to be honest. They know that you as a fire sign are always going to kick your own butt into gear. That is something that a lot of people can't have. It's something that you can't teach them, how to shake it off because of whatever traumas are there. But being a fire sign, you're really good at shaking it off. The only trouble is that you don't go back and heal those parts that you've skipped over. And you've had to do that in order to bring you into fullness of who you really are. And you're going to change a lot again. Maybe you're going to change your hairstyle or your clothing or, something. But you're going to change as you move into this new vibration. And it's going to be beautiful. Okay, earth, air, fire, water. Here we go. Okay, water signs. This is what everyone expects of a water sign, is to put themselves last and give up. Give up the fight. Because a water sign doesn't want to fight, really. They just want everyone to be happy and, calm, right? They want everyone to just be happy. Well, basically happy. So, I feel for you that the conflict and defeat this time is not yours. I actually feel like these people in the picture are the ones that have lost here. And they have lost you and your energy, because they used to be able to tell you whatever it is that they wanted and get you to jump and do, and you would, because you don't want any conflict, you don't want any defeat. A new person is emerging within you also, water signs, where you're starting to understand where you've been taking things personally. Because when you take things personally is where you run into trouble. So, like, the feeling that I'm getting here is that you've had to understand that part of yourself that is wounded when other people express something. And instead of that wounding being at the top of your energy all of the time, or on the surface where you think, no one can really see it, but they can. Instead of that happening, you've really decided to armor yourself a little bit better, to start to react to what your mind is saying in a different way. And you've begun to see that all of the things that have happened in the past and the way that others have treated you have not been because you're stupid and an idiot for being with such jerks of people or whatever, for putting up with it for as long as you did, because we all know the water signs are going to hang in there, right? You're learning that all of this beat up that you're so used to giving yourself has been undeserved. And in fact, the people that have perpetrated all of the problems and all of the issues and all of the pain, they actually are the ones at fault, not you for being there in a bad situation. Right? So the people that have abused you in your life are no longer people that you worry about or concern yourself how they're doing, how they might be taking your absence or whatever is going on with you, instead of that, you've been embracing a new way of life and getting away from this conflict that was always at you because of the reaction that you would have would be pleasing to the abuser, whoever those abusers are. You would always give the right emotion like of feeling sorry for a person or trying to help them heal. And you got used. And you got abused in more ways than one. But the big thing is that you recognize those people as doing wrong to you rather than you doing wrong for being with those people. There's nothing wrong with having a trusting soul. The only thing that's wrong is when you allow other people to take advantage of your trust. So let it go. Move forward into a higher vibration. You're highly in tune anyway. Use it to your advantage as we move ahead. Whew. So the 5th of April is going to be interesting. The 6th for air. The 19th, Earth. The 6th for Earth. The 19th for air, or the 10th or the 1st. Oh God. The 10th or the 1st for fire signs, starts you into your new cycle. And the 5th for water signs. Okay? Hey? Is that intense or what? Did you get that from these cards? Okay. Look, we're in a husky house, so I have got husky all over me. It's free. It comes with every reading. Okay. All right. So let's move into some other cards here. I know I've got a few different cards set up, but where the heck's the lid now for that one? Oh well, it's in here. Okay. We're going to get into some the Mythic Tarot. So this is a new book that I had to buy for my old deck. I'm pulling out my old deck today. But we are working with a lot of ancient energy as well. So I'm actually going to have a look at these cards for us. These are the Beyond Lemuria Oracle cards. They're so beautiful. They're not like normal cards, so I will read to us the message. Just make sure. Okay. They are big cards. But look at these drawings, just as I'm fixing them up. And I bet you this girl said, "Oh, I can't draw. Oh, it's not really that good." You know, drawings like this. Okay? All right, so here we go. So I'm actually going to be teaching, if you can't be a part of the academy, I mean, I'm just opening that up. I really want the you all to experience what others are experiencing right now, but I will have these small webinars in between. And I have a lot of Lemurian work and past life work and all sorts of things that we can do in these web shops instead of workshops. And so just make sure that you're on my newsletter list, and then you'll always get updated as these new things come out. I'm really trying to keep going with my work, obviously, and try to reach as many people as I can. I do give it to you inexpensively. However, you are getting hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth of things, knowledge, Others won't give to you. So I really appreciate everyone who knows that and has come forward before, you know. But I open the invitation for my Blue Moon Isis Reiki and Golden Triangle Reiki, which will be at the end, the last day of April and the 1st of May. So look at the link and you'll be able to read all about it, sign up, and then you'll be given the Zoom links for both dates. So really looking forward to these classroom settings and just making it really easy for you to learn and give you some tools that you can use on your healing pathway or working with others. Okay. Oops. Come on. Okay. Here we go. The heart chakra. Unfurling back to love. Look at this beautiful drawing. Whew, okay, so this chakra card represents love in its many forms. It reminds you that everything in life can unfold into love or fear. So when unfurled back enough, the foundation of all you seek lies in the universal desire and right to feel love and be loved. Love heals. God is love. There is the force that will change the world. So count everything in your life that you are grateful for. Think of all those you love and how that wonderful feeling radiates from your heart. Consider those you can forgive and extend that feeling out to them. Remember, we all just want to be loved and accepted, but insecurities and triggers can cause behaviors that move us away from this place. Have compassion. Know that others may be in their suffering. Expand your awareness and heart-centered radiance for all beings on the planet. Encapsulate Earth in loving compassion. Bask in the blissful feeling of the planet and in its perfect balance, loving you back. So relationships and relating, connection to yourself and others, connection to the earth. Okay, nice soft green colors, like, you know, you might want a little piece of nice green fluorite like this one, which look how gorgeous it is, right? Or, you know, just aquamarines and things, and just being very tranquil in your energy, being very peaceful in your energy. You know, if you watch a lot of TV or whatever, which I don't recommend, but you can actually feel the anxiety through the screen, you know, and wonder why you're anxious all the time. I talked to a lady not so long ago, and she said she always watches a certain person on YouTube, and she says, oh, I just feel like I've got all these heart palpitations, and I just feel all stressed all of a sudden. I'm like, well, you just told me who you watch on YouTube, so don't you think that has something to do with it? You know? Goodness me. So be careful and watch your reactions, you know? If someone makes you anxious, it doesn't mean that they're a bad person. It just means that it's not the right person that you should be around. You know, it's just not right. The energy doesn't match you. So, okay, so the Conscious Spirit deck. What do we need to know as a collective going into April 2022? The Wheel of Life. I'm guided by the cycles of life and live in complete harmony with them. So we're shifting definitely out of this old phase and into another dimensional energy. We have the Moon Goddess working with us also in harmonious flow with the Moon's energy. So, you know, we have solar flares until the 3rd of April, which gives you pressure in your head. Your heart can be feeling weird. You can have excess fluid in your body. You can have some chest pain. You can have some bone pain and just feeling rather flat, okay? as that's occurring. And everyone goes into a panic about it. And the idea is that you understand, okay, I'm just going through this shift right now in order to bring me into my awakening. And this is the only way that I can do it. At the same time, you have the moon doing its thing every 2 weeks, a couple of days before, a couple of days after. You got people sending their negative stuff. So you've got to keep your shields nice and high. See, there's the celebration of the sun. Celebrating each sunrise and recognizing the healing energies of the sun. You have the sun and the moon goddess activating us right now. There's the nurturing heart mother energy here. Protective spirit reaching out to all life with love and compassion. We have our throat chakra and meditation energy here. Speaking truth, encouraging others to speak theirs. Meditating daily to allow universal wisdom to flow through as well. So the throat chakra, definitely my son going through that right now. The throat chakra expands not just to say, okay, you need to speak your truth. It's not about that. It's about your divine will and destiny, and also the things that you have believed to be true throughout your life. And when that starts to change, because you start to see the truth on so many levels, you will feel a lot coming up in your throat. You may have acid, you may have a sore throat, you may feel like a strep throat, you may have a little bit of a fever and things with it as things burn their way through and shift their way out. So to me, at my age, I don't see that. It's hard because my son said to me on the phone today, he goes, well, how old are you, Mum? And I told him how old I am. And he's like, God, you still look the same. And it's like, because most people that are getting older start saying, oh, this hurts and this, I've got this problem, I've got this. And I just can't do that because I don't want to manifest that, That is not my reality that I want to manifest. So I'm just not going to do that. And the way in which you speak about yourself is extremely important to what starts to generate in your body, because your body will hang on to it and hang on to it. And if you keep saying, oh, I'm ugly, oh, I'm gross, who's going to want me, like all the time, and I used to do that all the time, that's why I'm mentioning it. If you say that all the time, you actually get problems inside your body. You get problems with your skin. You get problems with your stomach. You get problems like turning up. It's like on top of everything else, all of a sudden you've got acne. And on top of everything else, you got a boil, or, there's just things that start to show up in your body because they are, or liver as well for bitterness. These are things that you hold on to. And you think you've forgotten about the thought, your body has not. So you really have to clear and reprogram yourself from all of those things that you've done for so long. And that takes time to actually admit, those things, right? I don't know how many people start off their day with what's wrong with them, We have to move into a new vibration if that's what we want to see. We can't sneakily carry our problems with us and think that nobody will notice them, because pretty soon everything that's on the inside of us is going to be seen on the outside of us. I'm telling you, it's just there. So these are my fairy, by the way, these are the fairy Lenormand. We are going to use these. I will use the entire deck on us today because that's how I roll. You can order your own Lenormand Grand Tableau, which is 36 cards and 36 different aspects of your life. But I want to say that not for much longer, because I am just going to be focusing on teaching and doing these readings like this. So we will see. Okay, so I'm asking With these cards, let's hear a message today that will be about our April 2022, and also just individual messages that are going to help people today. Okay. And just in between. Okay, so okay, April 2022. So I got the male and female cards out just to represent everyone's masculine, feminine, whatever you want to call yourself. Doesn't bother me. But that's everyone, okay? I will know when to stop messing around with these cards. Okay, Lenormand, let's tell them clearly. Let's tell them clearly. So the first thing here is, so anyway, we know that these are the cards representing us. I'm just going to move them. The whip. Okay. Avoid any arguments. Okay, right now. Don't get into any arguments with anybody, because the person that you care about deeply is really not listening, and it's just not worth it. Okay? So just for now, you know, you may want to desperately show someone the truth and have them sit down and listen. It's not going to end very well. So the first thing is just be careful of your temper. Okay. Now we go into this lucky healing phase here. So this is the clover. Okay. Something very lucky is about to happen. So see how it's not worth to be arguing, because something's going to happen anyway. Just going to put these out of my way. We know who we're doing this reading for, okay? There's a luck around a healing situation, or someone that has been needing healing. And there's been beautiful vibrations of healing, flowing through you. And your destiny is also very lucky. You're moving into an extremely lucky phase of your life right now. That's why any argument or issue with somebody else is going to block this coming in. So you need to consider yourself as lucky as well. I'm so lucky. Luck is with me all the time. It's attracted to me everywhere I go. It's healing myself and everyone on the planet. So there is news coming in about a child or children, and this continually has come up in our cards time and time and time again, that we will be hearing news of a child. Could be like my situation, hearing news from my child that I've been waiting to hear. But this could be on a global scale, where we are hearing news concerning the children. Sometimes the news is with these particular birds. Sometimes they can just be, it can also be bad news too. It can be like malicious, gossipy kind of thing. But at the same token, it's coming in quickly anyway. Okay. Here's the, okay. So this is the house and this is the anchor. So this also talks about a firm foundation that you're laying down, whether at home or business, or a home-based business. There you go. And that although you might want to be going off and doing this, that, and the other, you're actually going to be a little bit busy as you're focusing on your goals and dreams. Some of you are literally moving into a new home. Now, wait a moment. I just want to look at this card for a second. Yeah. There is magic surrounding a dream of yours as well. Something was shown to you in a dream a long time ago, and you're going to see signs of that happening again. These will be your signs to make a move forward. Things as we know it are going to end completely, meaning restrictions, the narrative, the distractions, the taking away of freedoms. And there's going to be choices to make after this takes place. There's an ending, and if we do get the Sky card come up over this side near here, then it will confirm it for us. Yep, there's an ending, and we're moving into a change that we're going to be really grateful for. And feminine energy is helping us with these changes. I continually get this feminine energy helping us, like just goddess of justice. So the stork represents babies, animals, young children, freedom and change. Definitely change, and in many cases a change of residence. And because this has come up with the house card, some of you are moving, maybe to a place that's more permanently settled for you as well. Because the mice which are here are distractions as well, and they're annoying, and it's created this cloudy vibration around people that keeps you in a state of confusion. And that has happened also because of the 2 years that we've had being kept in confusing states of mind, right? And so when we actually see what's going on, and you know, maybe there's just more information, and more information just keeps falling into, you know, like a certain person's laptop and things that are now being covered by mainstream news, when before, you know, people were crazy for believing it. So the clouds are going to lift off of people's brain, the fog. And, you know, really that people are going to see the sun shining on them, and they're going to see the snakes. Who are the snakes? See, in traditional Lenormand, the snake is a female, and the female is light coloured skin and dark coloured hair like Snow White. Now that's just one interpretation. Someone who's wispy, you know, light, really white skin though usually. But that's just in some cases, because we're talking here about everybody, okay? But the sun brings out the energy of the snake. This particular snake is definitely a person or a group of people. It feels that it's okay. I always get this feeling when I'm doing these readings. Okay, so this particular snake feels like it's safe to come out, because you know what happens when snakes get in the warm weather, they're more active, okay? And that's a real snake. Any reptile is more active in the sun. It's gonna almost hibernate in the cold weather. So as the weather changes, wherever that is for you in the world, the snakes believe that it's fine to come out from their hiding. And when they come out from their hiding, everybody is there ready to step on them. But the other energy with the snake in this particular case is that it is also shedding skin. So as all this comes to the surface and things start coming out, and in your life or in the lives of the people around the globe, that something's exposed, or whatever it is, it's healing as well. We're finally able to shed that skin and start doing what we love to do again, and focusing on our legacy. This is a family tree kind of energy. The tree is talking about your health. It's also talking about your spiritual life and being able to connect. And both of these pictures with the tree shows that there's going to be a release of the things that were evil. And we're going to see the evil for what it is. And it is no longer going to be able to have power over the people. And it brings abundance. Okay, the fish is extremely lucky. And it brings commitment. You know, this is a committed energy. Someone is going to commit themselves to you personally, but on a worldwide scale, there's commitments made to the people. And things will be given back to the people that they deserve. After all, no matter who you are, you have suffered over the last couple of years. You have suffered in one way or another. Here we're told you, if their scythe ends up over here, at the end here, there it is. Okay, this is a finish to this health problem that everybody's been so concerned about. It's ending, done. And it'll be done, and emotionally people will feel it, perhaps in 1 month. So by the next new moon, in 1 month, we will be able to sit back and have a look at what's beginning to take place. Whoops. In the world, because of the revelations and the assistance that's coming out for us. There's a letter of information here as well. And it's been about this enemy that we've had. Because you know what? I know I have to be careful about what I say, because people take things the wrong way no matter how you say something. But I'm just going to have to be true to myself, okay? Because this mighty enemy is the Cabal. The Cabal has been destroyed. And what we have left because of that is a scattering, like a chicken with its head cut off, running around with, not knowing where to go, what to do, what to have happen. And now the trouble is here, and the turncoats are coming forward with all of their information. They do not want to get busted with the big guy. They don't want to get busted with that. So, the energy here of a mighty presence of a mighty enemy. And we receive the information about who's really the mighty enemy, not who we think it is. Or maybe who we think it is, but also other people. Okay? The whole world gets the information. The whole world will see the documents, the photographs, whatever evidence you need. Not just, here, we're going to present this and nothing happens. The whole world is going to see it, because it's going to come from all parts of the world. And it has to do with the government. There's an end to this government system, let's just say. Governmental thing. That's not going to be something that continues, because we have the protection of our spiritual light team. We have the protection of the bear. We have to ask ourselves, when we see the bear, what we're afraid of. And we are afraid of this continuing, this destruction, this dishonesty, this corruption, we do not want it to continue. It's already been taken care of, but still, we need to start seeing some things happening here. And we are. Big time. Okay, so the overseas, all right, brings us our destiny. Something, again, this is like the 20th time I've said someone or something from overseas, some feminine energy, something that is focused on freedom, a group of people perhaps that come forward, people who start talking because they don't want to go down with the ship. What happens when the ship goes down? All the rats come out first, the rodents. They all start fleeing straight away. Here we go. Here we go. You don't think it's that bad? You watch. To me, it's over. To me, it's this is all over. I already know what's coming forward. It's just a matter of evidence coming forward now. And here it comes. Here comes the messages from a loyal friend. We can rely on this individual or this group to tell us. Here comes the fox. Here comes the information. The information is actually going to come from someone within the camp. Someone we thought might have been on our side. Maybe they have red hair. Maybe we thought they were on our side. They come out with all this information here. This has been sealed. So this information has been completely, I don't know if you can see it. It's been completely locked up and sealed. We haven't known, but we want to open to this page that's important. And underneath it is the key to open it. Oh, look, you can't make this up. It's just what it is. This is just coming out for us. So, because this came, even though these two weren't particularly connected, these two were, but because this is kind of sitting next to it, the fox can usually be someone who's we don't want to trust, but it's sitting next to someone we can absolutely trust. So this is someone working, or has been working on helping us, and is usually seen as someone who is a bit of a smart aleck, okay? Sort of just has a nose for things, I guess. Has a nose for sniffing, you know what. It's an older person, and they restore our sense of balance and our responsibilities, and they give it back to the people. That's the enormity of the change. I know that Pluto returns the energy is going to last until 2024. I ask specifically about April as I've been going through, okay? I've been asking specifically about April. So here we're going to see something come this month that is going to relieve us more than we've been feeling in the past. And this is for you in your life and also in the world. In your life and in the world. What are you waiting for? What information are you waiting to receive? Are you waiting for a commitment? Are you waiting for a new job? Are you waiting for something to change so the abundance can come in? Are you waiting for information? Are you waiting on a letter? Are you waiting on your family to get in contact with you? Are you waiting for some news about a job, student loan application, a car loan or something? It's all coming. And it all, in, most instances is going to be very positive. Okay. Just quickly doing this again. Here's the ending. We find out the knowledge. Okay. The ending of all the misinformation. Oh God. There's the government. Sorry, but that's what the Tower is. And the information about the government, about an older person. We get the message once again. Here it comes. From loyal person, bringing us into the sun energy vibration of truth. This is 31. It is going to be by the beginning of May. We're already here at the beginning of May, feeling really good. Okay, so yeah, wow. Okay, we've got a little more to go here. It is just unbelievable. I can't. I used every card in the deck, so basically you're going to get some things that are going to come out, but still the way it comes out, it's pretty incredible. Okay. Now, for the grand finale. First, I just have these little cards here that are just a mixture of some old cards. So I'm asking, what do we need to know? We have persistence with Lu, Celtic god. We have stay focused with Kutumi, who's an Atlantean priest. We have quiet time that we need from the fairy deck. I used to love that deck. We have working our magic, Saint Germain. And we have tranquility. Make time to relax, be still, and enjoy your solitude. Indulging in much needed self-care. Some sort of space is coming forth as we have positive expectations that will allow us to actually take some time. My oldest son, Corey, went and spent the weekends with his friends, which is about an hour's drive away. The house has been so quiet. It's just allowing that time. Okay, everyone. The time has come for the oldest deck I have. I have had these for 31 years. And they were secondhand when they were given into my hands in Queens Boulevard, New York City, and Kew Gardens Hills, actually. If you know where that is. That's where I lived, right on Queens Boulevard when I was a teenager. And these were handed to me by a Vietnam vet who just saw something in me that said you need them. And here I am. They've been all over the world with me into 3 or 4 different countries. And I'm going to be reading the aspects of the Mythic Tarot today. And we are ending this reading today with a Celtic Cross. And I will be doing this in a way that's easy for it to fit on the table, okay? Besides yesterday, I have not brought these cards out for a number of years, or a good while anyway. They are very soft. And they've got drawings and things, all kinds of burn holes, and they've just been through it all. But I had a Lenormand crystal sitting inside them. So they're nicely charged up. Okay. Alright, everyone. Celtic Cross. And I will be just going from the top. And I will be sharing with you some of the Greek mythology that goes along with it. And hopefully you enjoy. This is us now. This is where we are at right now. This is a very interesting, I'll read this to us, okay? This is the story of Orestes is going to come up through this. Remember, we are looking at this as, oops, just a moment. as importance for us to reflect on, okay? Okay, here we go. Here's the explanations. So the Three of Swords portrays King Agamemnon, which is here, slaughtered in his bath. The dead body of the king lies slackly in the water. On the left, Aegisthus, black-haired and black-bearded and robed in a dark grey, pierces the king's heart with a sword. Another sword stands upright, which is right here on its own, and its point is buried in the inert body. On the right stands Clytemnestra, also piercing her husband's heart with a sword. Agamemnon's wife, they're all involved in this. So beyond the marble portico can be seen a black brooding sky. It's all dark and over some mountain peaks, but it's just, you know, the picture is what it is. And this is the reason why it's like this. The Three of Swords is a sorrowful card because the strife or conflict impending in the card before it, so in the Two of Swords, there was just something about to happen. It hadn't happened yet, right? Then you get to the Three, it's erupted and it's come out into the open. And the theme of initial completion, which links all of the threes. See, we're in initial completion. And it's reflected in a painful situation where some separation or heartbreak has actually revealed itself. Yet while it is painful, this card, which is undoubtedly a difficult one, represents a release of energy. For at least there is movement from the stagnant and unpleasant tension of the two where we've been. And whatever has happened is in some way necessary because something is at work which requires such conflict before it can unfold to its eventual creative end. Have we needed to see all of this so it can unfold? People can see things clearly? Have you needed to see something clearly so that it can unfold into its creative energy? So, here, Clytemnestra has had her revenge. And this revenge was inevitable from the moment Agamemnon chose his own glory over the life of his daughter. Something set in motion in the past comes to fruition with the Three of Swords. And the fruit is rarely pleasant. This is the deepest meaning of the curse in Greek myth. Not a spell or bad fate cast by some capricious god, but the inevitable working out of the consequences of human choice over time, which sooner or later will result in heartbreak or conflict when the bill comes due. So the sorrowful vision of the Three of Swords brings with it a feeling of relief because the poison has come out, and therefore a chance of future healing becomes possible. Resentments which have remained subterranean because we are frightened of conflict and anger have a way of bursting through at last, but often through the next generation, who are forced to act out the problems which the preceding ones refused to face. So unpleasant though the Three of Swords is, it is nevertheless a creative step up from what we've had, and an ultimate resolution is now possible. Can you hear these words? So the Three of Swords heralds strife, conflict, or separation. And this painful state is in some way necessary, as there is a realization that blindness and self-delusion cannot go on. This is like the breaking of an abscess so the body or the world can heal. Oh God. You see why I had to read these to you today? If you're still here, thank you. This is where we're at. This is the energy that was blocking us. The King of Wands. The leadership. Let's say this is the energy of all leadership. But anyway, this was blocking us. Okay? That's why I'm putting it across like this. We're going to read. There's a different story for each suit. Let's have a look what the King, pretty cool actually. Here he is. The King of Wands portrays a fiery man with curly chestnut hair and beard. He's clad in a rich crimson robe and a golden crown and is seated on a golden throne whose arms are carved with golden rams' heads. In his hand he holds a flaming wand. Around him are vivid green fields in which a ram can be seen poised with its head held high. Behind him rise the white pillars and porticos of a beautiful city crowned with an acropolis. Here in the card of the Wands, we meet the active, dynamic, lordly dimension of the element of fire, which symbolizes the creative imagination. So our creative imagination was blocked from us. Remember, this is the healing of an abscess here, and it was blocked from us. Okay? This is embodied by the mythical figure of King Theseus of Athens, who we briefly meet in the one of the suits of wands as the companion of Jason and the Golden Fleece. Okay? King Theseus personifies all the exciting, outgoing, impulsive, bad-tempered, and tremendously infectious spirit of fiery energy. His mother, Aethra, was loved both by the god Poseidon and the king Aegeus of Athens. Theseus was jointly fathered by them, but did not know of his origins until he was 16. He then set out on many dangerous adventures to claim his place as Aegeus's heir. He offered himself as one of the tribute of youths and maidens to be sent to Crete, to be fed to the terrible Minotaur, enchanted King Minos' daughter Ariadne into helping him destroy the monster, and he returned to Athens in triumph, passing through not only violent combat with the monster, but also fire, earthquake, riot, and terrible seas. When he became king of Athens in Aegeus' place, he was full of new and brilliant ideas of how to unite the constantly warring Greek city-states, and through a combination of charm, good salesmanship, physical prowess, a flair for the dramatic, and a brilliant mind, he managed to persuade these independent and haughty lords to pull together under one yoke over which he presided as High King. All right, just a moment.
The ancient Egyptians understood that they could use sound to reduce their weight.
Okay. So here we go. Here's the image of a fiery enthusiasm which makes an individual, man or woman, a true leader. So our true leader has been blocked from us. This fiery spirit is not merely impulse and restlessness and fresh ideas. These things we found in the Knight of Wands, but also contains a nobility and strength. Theseus is not just a brash young man. He is a strategist and a shaper of world events, for he possesses not only vision, but the steady power to manifest his vision and the warm and infectious personality which can convince others of its validity. He is intolerant of limitation, and he is unquestionably a bad loser. So King Theseus of the myth is also the epitome of the male chauvinist sometimes, and not necessarily limited to men, but can be equally found in women. When the king here has come up as a blocking card, or what we were blocked from, it's time for you as an individual to encounter a dimension of your personality which actually initiates new ideas and gives them and sells them to others, thereby generating change in your own life and in the immediate environment. So what was blocked from us before was our ability to be able to work and do things and shift our ideas forward, because everyone was blocked by finances, by restrictions, by travel, by everything. Okay? It's a spirit of leadership here, the belief that one has a better idea which is worth working to make manifest. This dimension of life may appear in the form of a fiery, impulsive individual entering your life, someone who infects others with the power of his ideas. But if such a person enters your life, it's not by chance, but rather an augury of your own need for development. To develop these, this position in your life of strength and not caring about what others think of you. And what was stripped from us was somebody that helped to, wasn't even given to us. We didn't even have an opportunity, really. Someone that really cares about where we're going. However, we're moving away from this energy of being blocked. Above us, we have the Page of Pentacles. It's an interesting story. So this is what's coming in. And all of these cards that I do on this side are going to be future stuff. This is what's coming in. This is above us as we speak. Here comes the Page of Coins. Okay. Oh boy, I love this. Okay. The card of the Page of Coins portrays a boy of around 12 years of age with dark brown hair and an olive complexion. He's dressed in a pale leaf green tunic. He stands in a field where the new green growth of different varieties of vegetables, flowers and herbs is just showing above the ploughed furrows of dark, rich soil. He holds a golden pentacle gently in both hands. Above him, the sky is pale and delicate blue. Okay, so there he is. Okay, it's the card of the Pentacles, the Page of Pentacles. We meet the element of earth in its most delicate and fragile beginnings. The nascent awareness of the senses of nature and of the capacity to manifest things in the world. And this is Triptolemus. This is embodied in the mythic figure of the boy Triptolemus, who was the son of King Celius of Eleusis. One day, the boy and his brothers were about their father's business in the fields, and Triptolemus herding the king's cattle while his two brothers tended the sheep and the swine. These three saw a strange drama enact. The earth suddenly gaped open, engulfing all of the King Celius' swine. Then a chariot drawn by black horses appeared and dashed down into the chasm. The chariot driver's face was invisible, but his right arm was tightly clasped around a girl that was screaming. What the three brothers had witnessed was sadly the rape of Persephone by the dark god Hades, lord of the underworld. Persephone's mother, Demeter, had travelled all over the world seeking news of her daughter and her disappearance. And when she arrived, disguised at Eleusis, the boy Triptolemus alone recognized her and gave her the information she needed, which had eluded her for so long. The information that we need that's eluding us for so long. For this act of kindness, the Earth Mother rewarded Triptolemus first by teaching him her worship and mysteries, in essence the mysteries of nature and the death and regeneration of life through the seasonal cycles. She then supplied the boy with seed corn, a wooden plough, and a serpent-drawn chariot, and sent him all over the world to teach mankind the art of agriculture. See? Triptolemus, the Page of Pentacles, is an image of those early and delicate efforts to relate to the sensual world, which must first emerge before any larger combinations, larger ambitions of a material kind can be pursued. So in common with all the pages in the Minor Arcana, Page of Pentacles is a rare beginning. Delicate beginning of recognition of the value of the material world and how it must be nurtured and protected lest it be crushed through undervaluing and neglect. So often the Page of Pentacles can suggest the early interest in some new hobby, which starts as an idea, but which, if cared for and developed slowly and patiently, eventually becomes a full-blown vocation, right? So the energy of Triptolemus needs to be treated gently, but also taken really seriously. When he comes up in the reading like this, it is the gathering together of energy which can eventually be used for building things in the world and for fulfilling the needs of the body. Sometimes money becomes available in small sums, and sometimes the individual takes up a new hobby, which may later develop into a profession with time and careful work. Or he or she may begin to care more for the body and take more interest in sensual pleasure and fulfillment. So as with all the pages, care, gentleness, and time are needed to bring the potential to fruition. We are being offered a potential. We are being shown that there's this rawness, the poison has to come out in order to show the potential. We've seen here that our potentials have been blocked. Okay, but it's coming forward again, and we can start in this fresh energy. See how cool this is? Now this is behind us. We have Judgment, and this is behind us as well. We have Temperance, but this is just recently, like say in the month that we've dealt with, and that's Iris, the Rainbow Goddess. So she's brought us back into balance. Before we had this Judgment, we had this is the Magician energy here actually. I'll just read a little bit about the Judgment for you. This is about it's about Hermes. That's the name. Okay, what is it? So, firstly, Temperance implies the need for a flow of feelings, and Iris is the guardian of the rainbow, suggests the potential for harmony and cooperation, resulting in a good relationship. So with others as well. We are challenged with the issue of learning to develop a balanced heart, while also being gently reminded that the fool, which is us, can't remain forever, even with the beautiful Iris, and must pass on or move on to the next moral lesson. Okay, so this is where we've come to We're ready for this. We've been doing this. But I just want to quickly read about the Judgment here, because there's a different way of looking at it. Where the heck is it? Now, here it is. Okay, so this is interesting. Hopefully you can see the whole card. So the card of Judgment, it's a man with black hair dressed in white tunic and blood red traveling cloak. On his head is the winged helmet of messages, see? And his feet are shod with wing sandals as well. In his right hand he holds a caduceus, the staff of magic entwined with the two snakes. On either side of him are two columns. One is black and one is white. The stairs on which he stands ascend to a doorway through which can be glimpsed a rich green landscape, much like Triptolemus's landscape. Okay. Before him, several carved coffins lie, and from the sarcophagi, the dead are rising, reaching out to him as they shrug off their burial shrouds. So what does this mean? So we meet Hermes, the psychopomp, the guide of souls. In the card of the magician, Hermes appears as the fool's inner guide at the beginning of the journey of life. Okay, now he is a powerful underworld deity, emissary of Hades, who summons the dying gently and eloquently by laying his golden staff over their eyes. But Hermes can also summon the souls of dead back to life, as well as ushering them to Hades' realm. So in myth, when Tantalos, the king of Lydia, cut his own son in pieces and served them as a feast for the gods, Hermes reassembled the pieces and restored the young man to life. You see how the cutting of things into pieces and restoring it into life story continues with Greek mythology, same as Egyptian. So he also guided Orpheus into the Dark Kingdom to seek his lost wife, guided him out again when he had lost her for a second time. So Hermes on the card of Judgment is not only Hermes the guide, but Hermes the summoner, who leads the souls of the dead to their accounting and prepares them for a renewed life. So it's an image of a process which occurs at certain critical moments in life, right? We sum things up. This is what we've been doing with the Judgment card. We've been summing things up. We've been gathering information. And it's a time when rewards of past efforts appear. A period of summing up, of realization of what we've been doing and where we ourselves have created the future. So it can imply a confrontation with our own issues, but the reward is not always a pleasant one. You must now answer for your journey, for the time of harvest has arrived, and the mistakes and creative efforts of the past are gathered together. But it is a clear perception of the extent to which we've been able to be true to ourselves. This is the card of Judgment. Looking at yourself in a different way. So let's move on to what's coming up over here, which is the near future. And we have, oh boy, we have the card of Strength. This is our near future. Here comes the lions again. We keep getting the lions. Okay. Now I'm reading this to you. I normally just follow my intuition. But I just feel that it's extremely important. If I'm pulling out these cards, let's look at them properly. And it is just amazing what we see here. Come on. Surely not. Where's the Strength card? Okay. Strength. Alright. Strength is in a different position in this deck. So the card of strength portrays a muscular, powerfully built man with curling chestnut hair wearing only a red loincloth. He is engaged in a savage struggle with a lion and has managed to wrap his strong hands around the beast's throat. At a critical moment, he is winning the fight. Hello? Are we listening? Around man and lion loom the rocky walls of a dark cave. Through the mouth of the cave can be seen a barren landscape and brown hills. So the lion can only be conquered with bare hands. There are no man-made tools or shortcuts, but only your own natural resources. The darkness of the cave is like the darkness of the subconscious, in which the primitive instincts dwell, invisible to ordinary awareness. Heracles wears the blood red color of Aries, okay, and Aries has the chariot, because he has already learned the lesson of harnessing his aggression and directing it toward a creative end. So Heracles battling the Nemean lion is an image of the problem of containing the powerful and savage beast within us, while still preserving those animal qualities which are creative and vital. The lion is a special kind of beast and reflects a different aspect of the human psyche than do the willful horses in the card of the chariot, for example. The lion in myth has always been associated with royalty, even when it is at its most destructive. And this king of beasts is an image of the infantile, savage, and totally egocentric beginnings of a unique individuality. Thus, the Nemean lion is not wholly evil, but possesses a magical skin which can offer invincibility. This invincibility is connected with the sense of inner permanence, which comes from a solid sense of me. When we wear the skin of the lion which we have conquered, the opinions of others, the great they, who strike such fear into the hearts of the timid, mean little, for we are armored in our own indestructible sense of identity. Right? Okay, I'm sort of skipping through a little bit. So the card of strength implies a situation where a collision with the lion within is inevitable, and where a creative handling of your own rage and senseless pride is desirable. Courage, strength, and self-discipline are necessary to battle with the situation. Through such an experience, we can come in contact with the beast, but also with that part of us which is Heracles, the hero who can subdue it. Thus, the fool, having developed the faculties of mind and feeling, now learns to deal with his own ferocious ego, emerging from this contest with trust in himself and integrity towards others. A true identity. This is what we are facing in the near future. Now, we have the strength and resolve to do it, of course, and we're doing it with our bare hands, and we're figuring out who we really are on just about every level here. The idea with the strength energy is that an overcome or a recovery is inevitable. Okay? Let's go into the next cards, which are going to continue to be about our future. This one is about ourselves. Oh, we have Aries with the Chariot. See these major cards here around us. This is where we're going. We're moving forward, and we're moving forward fast. Okay. Chariot, let's go. So the Chariot. So we have the this man is dressed in bronze armor, bronze helmet, and a blood red tunic. At his hip is a bronze shield. Okay, at his side is a large spear. He grips the reins of 2 horses, one black and one white, which pull in opposite directions in front of him. The dusty road on which he travels winds into a reddish desert-like landscape with the sky, while the sky lowers with an impending storm. So the desert landscape through which Aries drives lacks water, an image of the lack of feeling and relatedness in which the aggressive impulses thrive. Yet Aries and Aphrodite are drawn together as though the instincts of strife and relatedness are in some way secretly connected. Aries' spear forms the traditional symbol for the masculine, an image of phallic power and potency in both men and women. And remember, we are in a new moon in Aries right now. And this is us right now. The black and white horses, like the dual columns that we saw, the black and white columns, reflect the potential for both good and evil contained in the aggressive instinct. So the war god Aries, who is said in myth to have been conceived by Hera, queen of the gods, without any male seed. As god of war, Aries reveled in fighting. His 2 squires, Deimos, which is fear, and Phobos, which is terror, sometimes said to be his sons, accompanied him on the battlefield. Unlike the goddess Athena, who is a war deity, represented cool strategy and foresight, Aries was in love with the heat and glory of battle itself, and with the exultant unleashing of his strength to challenge the foe. Okay? He was associated with conflicts and blah blah blah. I don't want to read the whole thing because we will be here a long time. So, Aries is the driver of the chariot. It's an image of aggressive instincts guided and directed by the will of consciousness. The horses pull the chariot in opposite directions, are portraying the conflicting animal urges within us. Okay? On a level for this reading today, it says that the card of the chariot is a time of conflict and struggle which can result in a stronger personality. There's the strength. One may come face to face not only with aggression in others, but with one's own competitive and aggressive drives. You're going to be feeling like you're pushing forward. Okay, so this conflict does not need to be avoided, but it needs to be faced with strength. So the Fool comes to harmony through learning to handle his own contradictions and moves to the next stage of the journey. So we stop battling everything else and we start to see where we battle ourselves and how we can fix this by moving forward in strength. Not in violence or not in aggression, not in pushiness, but in strength. Now this is in our home. Here it comes in our home. We have Daedalus, very pleased with his bounty. He has a laurel wreath. He has these grapes. We have a beautiful sea behind us. Daedalus is bringing us into fruition. Remember the 8 of coins we had with the crow reading today. Now we move into the 9 in our home. So, the card of the 9 portrays Daedalus standing with his hands folded in a posture of satisfaction, a self-congratulatory smile on his face. He has discarded his tunic and leather apron and is now clothed in a rich ochre-coloured gown trimmed with gold. See, in the 8, he was still working. Now he can sit back and be pleased with himself for what he's been able to achieve. This is you in your home. On his head rests a laurel wreath. On either side of him, richly laden vines climb up the wooden trellis. Okay. 9 pentacles here. So, it portrays a state of self-satisfaction. Daedalus was gambling on a dangerous venture. He worked hard to develop it. He took risks and suffered attendant dangers and now stands admiring the rewards with which he has earned. So it's a pleasure the craftsman feels in his wealth is not due to anyone else's applause or validation. It's a solitary enjoyment of good things. Okay? He did it his way, and he's very pleased with his results. So the Nine of Pentacles is a time where you can be justifiably pleased with yourself and what you've been able to achieve. There's often a strong sense of solid identity, a feeling of your own unique abilities and the worth of your whole life. This card reflects the solitary and self-sufficient enjoyment of good things. It doesn't depend on anyone else's agreement or validation to provide pleasure and deep satisfaction. So you fight with yourself and you fix everything, you push forward, you reap the rewards, you're being strong, you're focused on raw creative energy. And in the home, there's pleasure coming from what you've been able to achieve. Oh God. Okay. Now, I don't want anyone to be freaking out about this, because when I read to you what this actually means, you are going to be very relieved. Okay? So this is also another card. Some call it the hopes and fears card. Okay? And in this case, it can be both as well. You'll see what I mean. So we have Athena, we have the Furies, and we have Orestes. Now, the very first card, we had the Three of Swords. And this was the story of Orestes, the Three of Swords. And now he's at the 10. Okay. Okay. So this is a little bit different, but just bear with me. The Ten of Swords, okay? So the Ten of Swords portrays the goddess Athena standing calmly and holding in her right hand an upright sword. To her right crouch the three Furies, their menace contained within the ring of 9 swords. That she has created something that they cannot get past anymore. Okay? This used to scare me, seeing the hand coming over. Anyway. To her left, Orestes, which is here. This is us. Lies unconscious on the ground. The black sky over the mountains gradually gives way to a rising sun just visible on the horizon. And I want you to just listen to this and bear with me. The Ten of Swords represents an ending. And here we see the ending of an ancient curse, accomplished through the judgment and fairness of the goddess of justice, Athena. A female energy, what I've been talking about for some time. To Orestes, no hope is in sight. He's nearly dead of despair and exhaustion. He can't see the freedom has come at last from these Furies. To the individual who has at last reached the end of something, where there's no hope left and only disillusionment and disappointments take into the future, the experience of the Ten of Swords seems like a death. It is a black time when we see something at last as it truly is and recognize that there is nowhere further to go. But although Orestes is too sunk in his despair to witness it, the sun slowly rises in the distance and a new beginning is heralded in the midst of the blackness of defeat. The insight and clarity of Athena have disarmed the Furies. And in the story, this occurs through the agency of a human jury. This suggests that what truly redeems us from our worst and most insoluble problem is not a lightning bolt from heaven, nor a magical piece of good luck, but the careful deliberation of the human mind with its great gift for impartial reflection. A family curse, such as Orestes has had to bear, is an image of inner conflicts passed down from one generation to another, where the grandparents and parents have been unable to face life's conflicts honestly, and the children must inevitably suffer until insight is gained. So the Ten of Swords, although not always a happy fairy tale ending, represents the proper and inevitable completion of a process which began with the birth of new ideas and perceptions of life. And often such a birth means that some deep-seated and ancient problem is forced to the surface, and something must ultimately leave our lives. And such separations are painful sometimes and difficult. But once the crisis is over, the sun can rise again and we move on, not merely disillusioned and disappointed, but free of some deep canker which has its roots in a past older than ourselves and which our own suffering has released and redeemed. The Ten of Swords heralds the final ending of a difficult situation. The ending may be painful, but at last the situation is faced truthfully, and a new future with fewer conflicts can begin. See? I had to read that. He doesn't even know that it's all over. He's too exhausted. Have you felt this way? Someone has been working behind the scenes and shutting off all of this nonsense. And everyone's too exhausted or psychologically impaired right now to see it. But you're going to. Okay? Alright. So, the final card. Everyone. Wow, here we go. The Two of Cups. Ooh, it's Eros and Psyche. Okay. She doesn't even know he's there. She does not know that she's going to be rescued. She doesn't know. She thinks she's going to die right where she is. Okay? Alright, just a sec. Okay, so the Two of Cups portrays the initial meeting between Eros and Psyche. Psyche, dressed in white to proclaim her virginity, is bound by the order of Aphrodite on a high rock surrounded by sea. At her feet stands Golden Cup. She looks away into the distance, awaiting her certain death in the jaws of the monster who lurks beneath the sea. Behind her, Eros hovers in the sky, shimmering with his golden hair and golden wings. In his right hand he holds a golden cup. In his left hand he carries the arrow with which he has just accidentally pricked himself, thereby inadvertently falling in love with the woman he has been ordered to kill. Oh dear. The twos in all four of the suits in the minor arcana represent a polarization of the initial raw energy of the aces. But in the Two of Cups, it implies the attraction of male and female. The raw feeling which erupted in the ace has now found an object, and Eros has found another with whom he can fuse. So, the Two of Cups is a time or the beginning of a relationship, partnership, connection. It can also suggest a reconciliation where an already existing relationship is undergoing difficulties or separation. So people who are maybe wanting to talk with their children, you know, I was lucky enough to have that happen, and I've waited such a long time for that day, you know, for that to occur. So there's some reconciliation here. Can even imply the meeting and contractual agreements of business partners. But in this instance, it's like you don't even know that you've been saved. You don't even realize. The same here. The two things have the same. They're not seeing what is right with them or what protection is right there. They're not seeing that. They're just giving right into their despair. So remember that we talk about our spiritual light team a lot, because they can take care of details for us on our behalf. And possibly that's what's happening here for yourself, is that a new potential begins to emerge, and a potential for fulfillment comes forward, and we see a glimpse of what is to come, because we're seeing, with all the potentials, we're seeing also a lot of just help coming out of nowhere. We weren't seeing it coming, and it comes right at us. In this particular messages for us, it's like, although there's been sadness and heartache and heartbreak, and although this has happened, we go through the rawness of emotions, at the same time allowing for strength and changes to occur within us, and letting our spiritual light team and guides and angels and everybody take care of the details. And this is actually telling us that they've done it. They've taken care of it. There's nothing to worry about. And it's time to move into the next direction. That if we understand that everything is taken care of, everything is taken care of right now, and we understand that, then what are we worried about? We have to have faith, not just when things are easy. And that's tested a lot in our lives. Sometimes we just need proof that something's going on. And as far as I can tell, we're going to get that proof. If this is our April reading, it's all happening. Remember, the energy of Pluto is with us for another 2 years. The energy of Pluto. So it's with us for another 2 years. And we're going to see one thing after the other. And while we weren't looking, more and more and more is going to be taken care of. We start to understand who we are as a soul, what we can achieve, our fighting spirit, our balance of self, our rawness and our pain, our ability to spread, around, spread the seeds and grow the plants. The ability for good leadership comes forward. The judgment is here. Okay, the reconciliation and the ending of all we know. The ancient curse has been lifted, and Orestes had no clue. You have no clue that your ancient curse, this ancient curse that was on this planet, is gone. It's gone. Now we just got to clean up the mess. That's what we're dealing with. Okay? Wow. All right. So I won't keep you too much longer, but I do appreciate each and every one of you. And let me know what you think of this reading. Till the next time, many blessings, and stay safe and strong. Bye for now.